Christopher, could you give any tips about budgeting? You're so stupid. You could not do that. I love you.
If you wanna come to my bedroom, if you wanna come to my bedroom, if you wanna come to my, if you wanna come to my bedroom, if you wanna come to my bedroom, I can be there if you want to. If you wanna come to my bedroom, I can be there if you want to.
Thank you. This looks very golden.
It's a Sancerre.
It looks like gold.
I know it's a Sancerre, but it kind of tastes like a Chardonnay in a way.
Does it? Here, you want to get it?
Cheers again.
Welcome to Spritz and Chips. We're in the living room today.
What's our chip?
We just had lasagna. We didn't really need one. Sorry, we're yeah. I mean,
very different.
we always apologize at the beginning of every Spritz, and I'm not going to do it this time.
Yeah. No apologies.
So we're just, you know, everything's good. We're
sorry. We always apologize. Okay.
Yeah, but we're here. Here we are.
We are here.
Here we go.
This is where we are.
This is where we are.
We're at home.
That is that.
That is that. This is that.
Okay.
Okay. Goose is over there too.
Goose is sleeping, and coronavirus is thriving, and The Bachelor is a disaster. And
Love is Blind is...
Love is Blind reunion is waiting for us to watch it, but we wanted to film this, so we're not watching it yet.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Oh yeah, so Bachelor finale was out of control.
Yeah. Well, it didn't impress me.
It didn't, like, I almost, like, Hunter and I skipped about half the season. Like, we really just lost the interest.
I almost think the finale was created.
You do?
Staged.
Interessant.
Anyways, today's Spritz and Chips, as you read in the title, and what brought you here probably, is about budgeting and money.
All that money, honey. I wanted to come up with some sort of money jingle, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take another sip to that
We are talking all about money, finances, budgeting.
I like bald
This
for
might
that.
be like the #1 question that we get asked is about finances and budgeting and just like how to manage money.
Saving for a home.
Saving for a house, we
money,
get all of that.
how to like save up for a trip.
Yeah.
A lot of like financial questions.
So this
And
is
we're not by no means
experts.
experts.
No.
What?
Experts.
Okay, we're not that. We're not experts. We are not telling you any tips or advice that we give are like things that we've done. It's not the right way, and it's not the only way.
No. Well, I think that's for anything in life, right? You just share your own experience
Yeah.
and you get tips from everybody, but like we absolutely, we are even like, we need more tips. We don't like feel like we have it figured out. So,
but the whole reason for this video is for us to share some of the things that we've done.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we find important, some of the things that we've learned throughout our marriage and like throughout adult life.
Yeah, like literally from college age into early adulthood. I think you need to move forward. You're like a little pinhead like back here. You know, like you need to be here.
I'm just relaxed.
There we go. I know.
You have a pillow behind you, no wonder.
Oh yeah. There you go.
That makes complete
Perfect,
sense.
darling. Okay. There's, you guys, coronavirus is wild.
It's real.
We just like don't really know what to think about it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like, I mean, I do believe it's slightly dramatic, but I also know it's like a serious matter.
Yeah.
I just feel like some people are being kind of dramatic about it.
I'm sure there are people that are taking it too well, I don't know, but I guess you can never take anything too seriously.
I mean, you don't want to be the one to regret not taking it seriously. And
Exactly, that you end up sick. Well, okay, so I think we should start with like college and where we were at, you know, then and that situation and just our journey, financial journey from. Wait, really quickly, I want to take an Instagram story. Really interrupting, wasn't it?
Tio.
Here, put your wine glass. Okay, got it.
All right. First things first that I want to point out, going back to college, is that we were
a mess.
Fortunate enough, we were fortunate enough, blessed enough, and lucky enough, and we're now grateful enough that we had college paid for by our parents.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes.
Not everyone has that situation. I'm sure a lot of you are paying student loans. We didn't have that, so that definitely helped us not have any debt when we graduated. You had some. We had,
I took
we had
out
some
a
credit card stuff.
partial loan.
Remember you had a credit card bill we had to pay?
How much was it?
Was it credit card bill? No, it wasn't.
No.
It was a credit card bill. It was a collections notice from a credit card you didn't pay off. You were like 10 cents short.
It was.
And so it cost us like $2,000 or something like that.
That was so annoying. Okay, yeah.
Well,
Well,
it was like a
thing.
Nordstrom credit card. Remember?
I remember that. It was a Nordstrom card.
Yeah.
And it was literally like 50 cents on the balance. And like I just ignored the calls or whatever. And I was like, whatever, I
Can't do
paid
that.
that off. Like, I don't know if there's anything that's like wrong. I don't know. I'm not going to answer that. And then 50 cents turned into like hundreds of dollars.
And when you went to the hospital in college,
yeah,
that wasn't paid.
right.
You thought your parents paid it. They thought you paid it. It
And
wasn't.
and it got
So we had a
lost.
collections notice for that for like when we bought our 2 houses, she's not on our house loan
No.
or the title. So that's actually a good point, is that when we were trying to buy houses, we couldn't put you on the loan because your credit was bad because of those things.
I know.
And so not only did we have to pay them off later with more collection fees, but it also hurt our chances of getting a loan together because your credit was bad.
Well, basically, like when I was in high school leading up till college, I had a credit card and I would like put things on it and then I would just do like the minimum payments. And I don't know, I think somehow between the shift to college and like my parents were like, okay, like, you're gonna pay that. Like there was just some confusion and I just didn't really have like a lot of like knowledge about paying things.
Yeah.
I got like some of my bills went to like collections and it wasn't like thousands or anything. It was like
It was 50 cents and like, and then like $200.
it was like a couple hundred, so it wasn't like super severe. But when I'm at 100, then like he was like, okay, wait, we need to take care of these. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
We did.
Anyways,
and we're
but-
good now. That was like a long time ago.
Thankfully, yeah, we did not have to pay for college ourselves. I did have like a partial loan that I took out. My parents paid for like most of it, and then
And we're paying.
there was a
We have
partial
a student loan for you now.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. That's what we're still paying off, and we can touch on that in a little
Yeah.
bit. But I think we didn't really know. We had no concept of money really, like when we were in college.
But like any fun money, for sure, fun money.
I mean, yeah, fun
That was
money.
like-
No, yeah.
That was like on us to save
Oh,
up during your internships, like during
For
Christmas
sure.
break and stuff like that.
I'm talking about like rent and like bills and like food.
Yeah,
That's it.
totally.
Parents helped with. But yeah, so luckily we had help from our parents. I think when Hunter and I met, because we didn't have a ton of structure and we both like really love fashion and stuff like that, we would like, when we started working and having money, we just like would spend it on,
We'd
we would
spend
just
the
go
money we made,
shopping.
yeah.
We would go out to dinner, we would just like do whatever, and we were like, we don't really have to save anything. Like we didn't
And that
understand.
was actually when we first graduated. We were living
Yeah.
with my parents.
Yeah.
And so we weren't paying rent then either.
Right, we weren't
so
paying
we were
rent.
just like spending the money that we were making on
Yeah.
like stupid stuff.
Oh yeah, we would go to Lululemon. We just were like, we didn't have any goals for anything to save for.
Yeah.
And,
And
I don't
honestly,
know why we
the
didn't think
first
about
the
that.
first responsibility for us was like getting your apartment,
Yes.
and that actually gave us structure
Yeah.
to start to have to think about where we're going to allocate our dollars. And so for
Yeah.
you, it might be you have student loans when you graduate. Like that's going to give you, although it's like puts you behind in like debt.
Yeah.
You have a leg up because you're
You
coming
do.
out of college with the responsibility on how
Yes.
to like save and how to like divide and allocate the money
Yes.
you make.
You're gonna get further faster because of that. Because,
And if you worked in high school or worked in college,
Yeah.
that's also like a huge
oh,
plus.
so good. I would definitely, yeah, I recommend
That's
that.
a huge, like if you're young, especially if you're like in college, like get summer jobs. Like I look back and I learned so much during my summer internships. I wouldn't have been in
Yeah.
the jobs that I have now without some of my internships. Truly.
Oh, same with me neither. But not many of mine were paid.
It not only helps with experiences that you gain, which I find super valuable, but it
Yeah.
also helped putting it on a resume when looking for your first job out of college.
Definitely. No, you like, they're crucial, I
Yeah.
feel as though. But I think that
I feel as though.
I think like what was really important for us was like right when we graduated, like we were ready to work. We were like excited to get jobs and like
I remember
get into something.
I actually quit football going into my senior year because I was wanting to graduate in 4 years instead of 5.
Yeah.
So I wanted
Yeah.
to focus on school. And the whole second semester of that senior year, remember I took an interview like every week.
I remember that.
You
went on like so many interviews.
I had to the dot 57 interviews my senior year of college.
Yeah.
The second semester. So.
Well, we should make a whole nother video about getting your first job out of college, but
totally.
Anyways, we'll touch on that.
The whole point, I'm talking about working during college to like save money and get you like gain experience and gain the maturity and responsibility of saving your money.
Yeah, definitely.
And like knowing the value of a dollar rather than just spending your parents' money and using a credit card.
Yeah.
That your parents like pay off, stuff like that. Like, that's great. Like,
yeah, if you're
all good if that's like you, because like we've been there too. Like, we've definitely had money given from our parents and we were able to spend that in college and stuff. I think people take advantage of that, but it's hard to learn.
It doesn't teach you anything.
It's hard to learn the value of a dollar until like the dollar is yours that you worked for.
Right. Yeah, and I think like having those first set of responsibilities was really when we started to like, you'll start to realize like, oh wow, okay, wait, I need to like organize my money and like save it and everything. So luckily we had right around this time when we graduated college and we had our first apartment to pay for and everything. We were getting married. We started to have like bills, and some of our like older friends that were a little bit more mature than us, they had been married a while, they were kind of like, okay, this is how we do our budget. And they kind of gave us just a concept of like how to do a budget, and they pretty much create like an Excel sheet, or we use Google Sheet, like a spreadsheet with all of their bills lined up in one area.
Like bills, that means like
anything you have to
defining pay. Like, it's also part of laying out your bills is laying out your budget for certain things too.
Yeah.
A bill could be the cost of your groceries, but in order to know the bill for the cost of, like, in order to know the bill for the cost of your groceries, you need to budget how much you're going to spend each month or each week on groceries.
Well, this is how you do it, because this is for somebody, I'm not like a numbers person, so let me break it down for the people that don't know what we're talking about. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to create a Google Sheet.
We'll create a Google Sheet and we'll put it in the description.
Okay, we'll show you how to do it. Create a Google Sheet, and you're going to add up all the money that you are coming in from your job every month. It's at the top. And then you're gonna have all of the payments that you have each month, and you're gonna have to like tally them up. So you're gonna wanna go through your debit statement or your credit card statement, add up how much you're spending on food out per month, how much you're spending on groceries, gas, cell phone bill, apartment rent, whatever. And you can see how much each of those things cost, and you're gonna break them out. And then you can literally add them all up, subtract it from what your payment is per month from your job, and you'll see how much you have left over. And that way you at least like know where all the money is going, how much you have left, and it's all organized. Because I mean, it sounds like easy, but I didn't know to do that.
So like, the structure of the spreadsheet will be on the far left hand side. You'll have all of the bills like written out, like gas, groceries, apartment, cell phone, insurance, etc. On the top, it's going to be the months. So this month, the top, you made this much that month.
Right.
So the first like box on the left hand side will be your income.
Yeah.
And it'll say like how much you made that month. And then everything listed below how much you spend on each of the other bills on the left hand side. And then at the bottom of that, it's going to be like the difference between all of your bills and your income to see how much you have left for fun money and for savings.
Yeah, so at that point, once you figured all of that out, then you know if you want to save any money that is in that leftover bucket, how much you're gonna need to pull out. How much you're gonna need to pull out of that to put in a savings account.
Honestly,
and if you do that each
what
month,
we did is we divided it. So anything we had left over, we put 50% in savings, 50% was fun money, is how we kind of looked at it.
Yeah, and then it's like if there's only $200 left in fun money, then you can't do much.
Tough luck. Yeah.
But that's just part of like being an adult.
A big thing to point out is when Julia said go through your bank account and look how much you're spending on like going out, alcohol, bars with friends, like coffee shops. Use that as a moment to be like, holy crap, I'm spending so much on bars on the weekends with my friends. Like,
you can see your patterns.
I need to cut back.
Yeah.
So let me make it a budget. Let me budget that. Instead of spending $300 a month on that, I'm only going to spend $100 a month.
Yeah.
And then you can change your lifestyle. It helps you change your lifestyle a little bit.
Totally.
To say like, hey, we're no longer going to the bars. I'm gonna have people over, and I have like, people can bring beer over here.
Yeah.
And it's gonna save you like that much more money than buying alcohol at a bar. That's a terrible example, but
something like that.
Or like going out to eat a lot, or like you know, maybe
going out and like shopping were the biggest
anything
ones.
like
And going out to eat.
Even going out today, or even for us today, going to dinner is the highest, probably consecutive highest, like just reoccurring.
Yeah.
And so we try to watch that, and now we usually only eat out on weekends.
Yeah.
But our budget for like groceries, for example, we probably spend
$200 a week.
200 roughly. Sometimes it's like 150. Sometimes it's 300.
Yeah.
A week on groceries, and so that alone adds up. But we're doing that to save ourselves from going out. So it would be actually like, okay, 200 to 300 on groceries a week sounds like a lot, and it actually is like quite a bit. But we go to like a good grocery store with whole ingredients. Like we're trying to be healthy, get good foods, good quality, etc. But let's just say it's 200 a week. That's 800 a month. That's our grocery bill that we have. Yeah. But however, there's times where we've gone to dinner and dinners cost $60. And so that adds up. If you were to eat out all the time, like $20 here, $60 there, sometimes it's $140, sometimes it's $50, sometimes it's $80. Like it adds up.
Totally.
So we would rather spend money on groceries and then try to only go out on weekends to dinner, or like on a Thursday night or something like that.
But I think the biggest thing too that we realized when the light bulb went off and we were like, okay, we did the budget. When the light bulb moment went off, it's like, okay, you do your budget and then you realize you have to see where all the money's going, right? Well, for us, we could still do that, but really where you're shaking the camera. Okay, where it really starts to like, the moves start to happen is when you create a savings goal. You have to have something that you're saving for.
You don't have to have something you're saving for.
You don't have to, but I'm saying that helps motivate us.
If you don't, then have a goal you're saving for.
A goal, yeah, either a goal for an amount of money, or if it helps to motivate you to have an item to save for,
like an item,
a car or a house.
Like we honestly don't just continue to save your money for the next item.
Not for like the next Louis Vuitton bag.
Right.
Well, maybe.
But for us, like we always like the first, like when we really got into saving, it was when we were trying to save for our first house.
I know. And that's when we were like, okay, we were in an apartment and we were like, we really want a house. And if we don't work and save for it, it's just not gonna come out of nowhere. Is he cold? Is he like trying to get closer to the fire?
I think he's trying to dry off still.
Oh, he's trying to dry off. Oh, nice.
We think it's like pretty valuable and important to at least put 20% down on a home. So that's kind of what we're looking at. We looked in the area of where we wanted to buy, like saw how much it costs to buy a house there. So we knew what that 20% actually looked like in order to save up for. Yeah. And so we changed our lifestyle, looked through our budgeting sheet, looked through our bills, and started to save more than we ever have because we had that goal and you're working towards something. So that's super helpful. Totally.
And I think like once you realize that and you have that number, you can literally make like a projection plan, so you can see, okay, what's my income when I have every bill for each month. Why do you laugh every time
I was laughing because I started yawning again, and to hide my yawn I like just took a sip.
I'm like, you laugh every time I give advice.
No, I was like this. Okay.
My advice is like finances for dummies, and Hunter's is a little bit more extreme. Hunter does all the money stuff around here. I don't do anything. But yeah, so you can project like, if I save this much every month, if your income, your paychecks are probably like the same every 2 weeks or whatever, then you can literally calculate how long it will take you to get to that goal. And then once you know that, then you know your wiggle room, right? So you're like, okay, if I wanna go out for this meal, or I wanna go meet my friends at Topgolf, it's like, okay, that's gonna dip into the savings plan. So as long as you're okay with that, but you're aware of it, it's just better. And then that's how you start to be more responsible, because you understand where the money is going and what's worth it to you or not.
Totally.
Then you can build on top of that, and you can start to look like, okay, well, do I want a side hustle if I wanna get to my goal faster? So what else can I do to make money to do that? But and you totally don't have to. If you just slow and steady, it's great. If you don't want to go fast and you're good with just like, you know, building it, that's totally fine. It just depends like how hungry you are.
And maybe you're a stay-at-home mom and your husband works, and like you have a goal to do something, like Joy said, get a side hustle. Yeah. And so, you know, life is not about making money by no means. It's not. Like, however, know that any of you can go make an income for yourself and a
Totally.
desired income. And a lot of, like, a big misconception for people our age is that, especially when you graduate college, like, oh, what is someone out of college like supposed to make in their first job or their second job or once they're 5 years into their career? And you'd be surprised, like, I think the older generation finds the maybe millennials or even people who are like 30 and 40 valuable. No. They find us valuable. They find us more valuable. What? They find us more valuable than they'll put off because we've adapted to like the new way of buying and selling goods or the new way of technology or the new way of real estate or whatever the industry is. There's a lot of like new innovative ways to market the company or sell the product or whatever. So like they value more than you realize, and I think
I think we get insecure that like that millennials, like when you go into a job that you don't add value.
You don't add value.
And you get nervous and intimidated. And I remember we both were like that when we started our jobs, like corporate jobs. Well, not you.
I mean, well, I was in
you
sales.
You have no problem speaking up.
Yeah. Well, I don't, but
I do.
I'm always been in sales, and so I know going in, like, okay, I know I want this base plus this salary or like what the market rate is. I knew to look up the market rate. Like, go look up what the market standard is, like what other people your age or your career making, and then raise it by 20 grand and go ask for that and say, this is what I expect. This is what I made in my internship. This is what I made, or whatever. Like,
yeah,
put the pitch together and go for it.
For sure. Well, we can do salary negotiations and everything on the other video.
Yeah, because that's anything.
That's a whole thing, you guys.
Anything can be negotiated. Anything. That is like the number one thing.
Number one.
We've learned.
Hot. Yeah. Oh.
Getting hot and so hot.
I think it's the fire. Can I turn that off? Salaries and jobs and everything will be totally.
We'll make that a different topic, but that's one thing I'm really big on. I tell a lot of people, like, there's more money for you to go make than what your company is allowing you to make. So
yes, and I think another thing is we really started like driving was when the moment, like, well, at least for me, when I was able to start like kind of growing more in my jobs, because until then it was just kind of like, oh, I do this, was when I started like speaking up more at work and like actually providing my opinion. And I literally, like, I would go to meetings.
I always remember this, actually, this one thing that happened to you. I think you're about to tell it.
Okay, so I went to a meeting, and when I first started, I would not talk in meetings at all because I'm like, I'm new, like I know nothing, even though, you know, I would like be observing and I would be thinking things. Well,
you're also in meetings with like people who are probably 5 to 10 years older than you or more.
Yeah, and they had been there for a couple years, so I was like intimidated, right? And then one day somebody goes, Julia, what do you think? Like they literally, after going around the whole room, and I go, and I laughed. I was like, oh, me? Like, I was like, oh, I thought you were kidding. Like, I was seriously.
Is there another Julian here?
Are you talking to me? And I was like, oh, she's really asking. Wow. And so I gave my opinion, and they were like, oh, cool. And like, I think they actually like made a decision based off of like something I said. And I was like, oh my God, like I actually can just share what I think and it's actually valuable. And like,
and I remember someone came up to you
that
day, they came up to you and they're like, hey, like,
you need to speak
if
up
anything,
more.
you should work on it, speaking up more, because your opinion's valid. Like,
yeah,
it's valuable.
Yeah.
And you came home that day telling me like, you won't believe this, like,
I know,
blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, of course, because the industry you're working in is so desiring people of our age opinion.
Totally. And I just didn't realize that. And I remember, I mean, luckily I had a really cool boss that would always tell me to speak up, and they were like, we want your opinion more, speak up in meetings, I want to see you like throw yourself in there more. And I was like, okay. So then I started doing that, and then once that started happening, I would grew in my role, and I just like grew in the confidence, and then you can like make more money and then so forth, and then
we're going off a career route now.
Okay, moving on. Holy hot. Whew. Hold on here for a minute. Okay. So, anyways, okay, so we're saving money for a house. It's all great.
All of these things are important, and we're sorry to ramble. Like, we're not trying to ramble and go off of these stories. Hopefully, y'all find these valuable. Hopefully, you're still watching. If you're watching, shout out to you. High five. Go like the video. But there's a lot of things that aren't taught to you in college. There's a lot of things that aren't taught to you from parents in general, not because they don't know or not because they choose not to teach you, but because it's like every experience is so different. And so our age and our generation experience going through the workplace is so different than our parents. Like our parents, they were all having kids at a young age, very young age. They are having like 3 jobs just to like make ends meet. Like it's a different life at that point. Like I remember your parents were probably hustling when y'all were a kid.
Yeah, oh yeah.
My parents were definitely hustling when we were born. My mom was 21 or 24 by the time she had all 3 of us, and like they were hustling. My dad was working side jobs. Like they crushed it and like worked so hard just to make like ends meet. And we're lucky we live in an age where technology is thriving. Like there's opportunity out there, and there like you can go make an income and save it. And that's the thing is like our biggest point we want to make to you is like challenge yourself to go beyond what you think you can do.
Totally. And I think like also we were talking with some friends recently, and like what I think is so important is just it's not that first of all, I think like if you don't want to be that millennial that everyone says is entitled and lazy and doesn't do anything, it's like we all should be working, we should all be doing something. You should just try something. Just go try a job. Even I feel like so many people are held back from like, well, I'm just like not really sure if that's the right fit for me. Like there were so many jobs that weren't the right fit for us, but you have to get like, you gotta just like get in there and get in the game to realize like what you do and don't like. Everything is trial and error, and everything's a stepping stone and to get where you want, right? I
had 3 jobs previous to the job I'm in now that weren't the right fit, but were so beneficial into getting me to where I am now.
Absolutely.
That is the right fit.
And same.
You know, it's like, it's so important to try things, and whether you like it or not, you're gonna gain experience from that that'll help you in the next thing and help you find what you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And each job you go like from one job to the next, expect a raise in your compensation.
Yeah.
Like you can always make money in when you jump from company to company. A lot of times, even like in the sales world, and even not in the sales world.
Yeah, Hunter's in tech sales, by the way. If anyone's watching and doesn't know.
I'm in software sales, like SaaS, analytics, products, whatever. But like it's pretty well known in the tech space that if I was to leave my company and go to another company, I would instantly make like at least 30 grand more, at least at the very minimum.
Yeah.
And if I stayed there for 6 months and came back to the same company that I'm at now, I would make another 20K on top of what, or 30K on top of what I was making at the other company. So a lot of times like people will jump from job to job and even come back to the company they were at before just to like get a bump in salary. Like that is known, people do that.
Yeah, no.
And so don't mean to go down like a tangent. I'm just saying it's important when you go to your next job or your next company, expect to get paid more. Like expect to go and push, like don't be timid to ask for a certain income. Like everything is negotiable. They're gonna offer you something. Don't accept it. Like negotiate and then accept it. Maybe they don't have wiggle room. Maybe they can't change things, but they're open to a negotiation. They want you, they offered you. They're not going to say no the second you ask for more money. They're not gonna say we don't want this person anymore. They're just gonna negotiate with you and then maybe tell you we can't do that. And then guess what? The offer's still on the table. They're not gonna pull the offer back. So don't be scared to go and like ask for a raise when you're interviewing at a company or at your current job. Like you know how much value you bring. You probably also know how much other people around you are making. Don't be scared to go ask for a raise. So I know that's not the topic of what we're talking about today.
They're very close together, like your career and saving money and stuff. So.
And I hate to like only talk about money. I know this conversation is about budgeting. However, like success isn't how much money you're making. Like truly, it adds to it. Like it helps. And I know money doesn't buy happiness, but
it's a responsible and mature thing to work so that you have money to take care of yourself and to use it as a tool to help other people, to like create a better life for your family and also to experience things or for freedom, honestly. Like it's just, and you can all do it. It's not, you know, it isn't all about money. You definitely want to make sure like you're happy in your life. That's and what you're doing
thing, honestly, is like happiness and joy. Like not every job will bring you happiness. Like sometimes like you work
Yeah.
because it's like it's a responsibility. It's necessary.
But it builds like character, and it's just good. Like that's what we're born to do. You're born to like work. And
But if you're miserable, like don't do something just for the money, even if you're miserable.
No.
Like,
yeah,
like
that's definitely not
there's
worth
a
it.
balance there. And,
There is.
And find happiness in that. Like find happiness and joy wherever you are.
Yeah, and you'll figure it out. Like I think there have been jobs for us that have made more money than others, and we're like, this ain't it, sis. Like I'm stressed, and I'm like, it's not worth it for me. And like we'd be like, okay, like jump ship, like let's go on to the next.
The important piece is like the value you're bringing. If you feel like you're being valued by the company for how much value you're bringing, if that makes sense. So
yeah, and I think every job, no matter what, too, is like it's work, right? So there's good days, there's bad days. Like we even have those in our jobs now, and everybody has that. So it's not like if you have a bad day at work and you're like, oh, this is just in it for me, or multiple bad days. That's just how it goes. It's like life, anything, like it's just up and down.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean immediate like cut it off. Like there's certainly that element to it, but for the most part, you want to like use your gifts in something that you're good at and feel like you're really adding to something, or you're learning a lot, or every job will kind of have its own thing that it's giving you.
Yeah. We're gonna go back to budgeting for sure. Like we've kind of gone off a little bit, but it's important. I'm glad we did, because these are all
budgeting and salary.
These are all things that we're like passionate about.
Yeah.
And
they're close to budgeting because they're what feeds the budget. Okay, what else do we have to say about budgeting before we exit out? This is such basic budgeting, you guys. We don't do like, we are not like invested in stocks and 401ks, and we don't have any tips like that. We're like bunch of scrappy street kids.
Yeah, well, for real, we are.
That's just our style. We just like don't do anything.
For like my own thinking is like a 401k is absolutely great, like truly.
Yeah.
However, the way I view it, I heard some like real estate investor once say like 401k might make you 3 to 10% return, and 10% would be really high. The reason to not do a 401k or to pull your 401k out, if you're an entrepreneur or you want to invest in something in yourself, like for yourself to do, like maybe buy a property and flip it, or buy a home that you want to rent out or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that would be the reason to not do a 401k or pull it out, is if you truly believe in yourself to make more than what a 401k will provide you.
Yeah, I think other tips, I mean, that's really like, we're pretty basic budgeting. That's what we follow now also. Like I said, Hunter does most of the finances, but we will have like little touch bases every now and then on like how much is in our savings, what's going on, what are we spending, where are we overspending, and we could absolutely make that a little more structured, maybe. Like
it is helpful. Like we personally are fans of having joint accounts. It's not for everyone, and it's not like necessarily a must do or a must have. However, because I'm better with finances than she is, or like I care to look and she just could like she doesn't look at all. She's like clueless in a way, not because you're like a moron.
I'm just not a math
person. Don't care, and you don't care about numbers or anything like that.
Not a math person. Wow.
There you go. Maybe she's a moron.
Oh
okay, no, but we like to have our finances combined, our credit cards combined, everything, because
I'm the creative director. You're the math person.
Because I am like, there's one of us in the relationship that looks at numbers. Versus like me controlling my finances and letting her just be like aloof with hers. That doesn't make a ton of sense. So we've combined our stuff, and you know, there's like a lot of benefits and smart reasons to do that in a marriage or in a relationship.
Yeah.
And we've done that, and I've been able to like look over both of our finances, and now we're in a business like YouTube and Instagram, like as a blogger, whatever, where we make money together. And you know, there's obviously times she makes money outside of that on her own. I have my own income, my 9 to 5. All that money's going to the same place, and I'm able to monitor that. And sometimes I'll say like, hey, what did you buy from XYZ? I don't care what she buys. I don't have like any kind of budget on you by any means. Unless
it's over a certain amount, then we kind of talk about it.
We definitely talk about it. We have a number set that's like, hey, if I'm gonna buy something over this number, I'm gonna tell Julia before I do so, and we're gonna talk through it.
Yeah, just to make sure it's like we're in the right position to do that.
Yeah,
like,
and it could even be something like, hey, I'm wanting to redo my floors in my office. It's gonna cost this much based on what I want. What do you think? Like, we'll talk through it.
Yeah.
And she might come to me, she didn't in this case, but she might come to me in that example and say, well, that's kind of expensive for floors. Like
do we really?
Maybe that should be your budget for the whole office. Like
Right.
maybe there's another flooring company you should go through. Let's go get quotes for 5 other people.
Yeah.
That's the reason to have that kind of conversation.
Totally. Because
So-
sometimes you get like excited and then it's like, well, wait, do you really need that? Or do you really have, like, can we find another solve
Yeah.
or workaround? I think that's not responsible because
Yeah.
of this. And you should have a
And
conversation.
regardless, I'm really good at justifying anything. So anytime I want to buy something, I'm able to justify it to her.
So am I.
Yeah.
What did you, I wanted to buy a pair of shoes last night and you started asking me about it and I go, I just can't talk about this right now.
Well, I got an email.
buying
I got
them, by
an
the
email
way.
from the person like trying to collect the money. I was like, wait, who is this?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna buy them.
But I'm by no means. I don't really care what she buys. Like I know we both make money together.
No, I know.
And I have
It's just a joke.
I have zero care over what she buys. It's just more of like a, hey, want to make sure, did you buy this or was this like someone screwing with our credit card?
I know.
Anyways, like have someone in your family, whether it's like both of you or just like an individual kind of taking control and ownership over finances and looking over that budgeting. I think budgeting should be done together between
Yeah.
the both of you so you're both
Yeah.
aware and definitely set up. I mean, I think it's good to have weekly meetings. We're now to the point, we've had so many weekly meetings where we kind of do like bi-weekly or monthly.
Yeah, or it's just like one off, like, hey,
Yeah.
let's talk about this really quick.
Because I kind of check them randomly, but it's nice to set up like, hey, every Thursday we're going to have a meeting at like this evening during dinner time, and we're going to talk about like where we are with finances, where we are towards our goal, where we are with our spending habits, like how we're aligning towards our budget based on the budget we set at the beginning of the month. All that good stuff. Those are so important that y'all are aligned on in a relationship as well as like as an individual. We're talking a lot about married couples or just couples in general.
Yeah.
As an individual, this is really good habits to have for yourself as well.
Oh yeah, and you don't want to bring that baggage into a relationship.
Yeah.
Just have it together just a little bit.
Also, for us, we put everything on a credit card. We don't spend more money on a credit card than we have in the checking account. We put money on the credit card so we can pay it off and have points. And that's such a basic tip, but I know a lot of you might be in college or young to know that. But the reason a lot of adults use credit cards is to
build credit.
So
you
and
can
to save points.
And so that you
whatever.
can get loans. Really quick, we gotta end this video because it's getting long. But credit cards. Okay, so I would recommend getting a credit card in college and not to put anything on it more than you can afford. Only spend what you actually have or else you're gonna get into real trouble. So, but you wanna start early in order to build up the credit because you won't be able to get a loan for like a house or a car or like anything if you don't have any credit built up. So you want to start that now and make sure you pay it off. Like pay it off literally at the end of each week if you have to, just to make sure that you're not spending over your means or like what you can afford.
Yep.
So that's that. We love the Chase Sapphire.
We use
That's
Chase
our
Sapphire
favorite card.
or Chase Preferred. Both of them are really great.
Yeah. And you get really good points. You get double points for eating out. Kind of the irony in that
It's double
one.
points for eating out and double points for travel.
For travel, which works for us. And then you can use it back on travel.
Well,
so
I mean,
this is very basic advice.
But this isn't for
Not for the expert.
This is not for the expert. This is for someone who
that knows nothing.
knows nothing or that's just like on our same page. And
Yeah.
I'm into finances enough to like I track everything. To sum everything up for the past hour is like just track your shit.
I think budgeting is just tracking and being aware. That's what it is. It's not like there's no secret trick to like budgeting your money.
Being
It's
aware,
just paying attention,
creating a goal and a savings or savings plan, and touching base and like being consistent on like how often you're paying attention to those things. And that's where we are.
Yeah.
We slowly like evolved where we don't pay attention to it as much as we definitely did when we were starting to save.
Yeah.
Because like over time you kind of become more aware of your spending habits and like, oh, I know I'm not spending too much.
Yeah.
Based on my
you can
income.
feel it
You
when
can
you're
feel it.
spending a lot of money or not.
Yeah. It's like up to you, and it's up to you to be like responsible.
It's your responsibility.
It is. It really is.
It is.
On like how much you make.
Get it together, sister.
It's up to you on how much you make. Truly.
It is.
It's up to you on how much you save. It's up to you on how much you spend.
And don't complain that you don't have this, you don't have that. Go work for it. You could do it.
Yep.
There's no better feeling than working for something and like getting it yourself and you're like, oh, I did that.
Truly.
And it builds your confidence, seriously. Like not that it's everything, but just like kind of accomplishing something and like being responsible. It's like very satisfying. But go have fun work hard, try and find what you love, enjoy it, and the money will come.
And be confident in yourself. Like truly be confident in yourself and go get what you deserve.
Go get it.
And save it. Don't spend it all.
If you guys want us to deep dive into like more topics that we skimmed over in this video, leave it in the comments below because we need ideas for spritz. Okay.
With that,
cheers.
I know we rambled a lot. I hope you found this video valuable and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
If you wanna come to my place, then we can talk about the weather. If you wanna come to my house, then you can meet my parents. If you wanna come to my bed, if you wanna